Yo guys, welcome to the channel. So in this tutorial, I like to show you how I made my Game Over remix from Justin Prime, Blackcode, David Allen. So actually I was very enjoying that track, and whenever I listen to that track, in my head I was always hearing the main melody with, some acid sound. So I thought I can give it a try and make my version, my twist. So the original track was slow BPM, so I just put it 135 BPMs. All I got was the original vocals from the project, and I start to rethink the idea, of how I imagined in my head. So this remix idea came like that. So let's start with the kick and bass. I'm not gonna play the full track because I don't want to get copyrighted by my own track. As the main kick, I had this layer. And I layered it with a mid kick. It's actually just an acoustic kick sample for some air. It's get rid of all the low frequencies. And I have a click layer. But as you see, this click layer has saturated and low cutted. So the kick sounds like that together. In order to get a little bit more click, I'm using excitement mode from FabFilter Pro Q3 to get a little bit more high frequencies, and I'm just clipping the kick. So I'm just getting rid of the peaks, and this is a rumble. I think this is from Lister's sample pack. All I did was sidechaining it, but making it fully mono because I wanted to have a little bit space in the stereo field for the rumble ambience and also the rolling bass. This is the texture I have. It's from the same pack, and rolling bass is like that. As you see, I get rid of most of the high frequencies, so I saturated it, I distorted it, get rid of the sub, so it doesn't clash with the rumble. I put vintage drive to loud the track a little bit, loud the sound, and also give a little bit analog drive. Some EQ for coloring. So this bassline is actually a free plugin. I already had a tutorial about this plugin as I remember. This plugin works like that. You give it a frequency, and with that frequency it can generate the side harmonics. So the track, so the sound in this case the bass sound can sound much more wider. So it's just adding harmonics, but it's not doing it in the mono, it's just doing it in the side signal. So this is very nice plugin. With filter, I'm getting rid of some high frequencies and then a sidechain and a clipping. This is all low end. And other than that, I'm gonna show you my drums. So actually I kind of cheated. I just drag dropped the hi-hat mix bass, like the hi-hat stem from Acid Sabotage track. So you can always use the sounds from your previous tracks, and in this case it works like a charm. Of course, I'm adding some hi-hat, some more top loop, some claps, just the techno drums you expect. In the background, we have some ear candy. Let me turn them on. Those ear candy, those shots, just making the drop background so rich. And also I have this fill in the pre-drop. And beneath this, I have a drone sound. And I think that's all for the drop background sounds. We got the 303, of course, as the main lead from the first drop. But I heavily processed it in this project, even though I processed even more in the mixing project. So in this project, it sounds like that. So the 303, I used transistor bass, and in the end, I decided to use a sound in the Spire, but it's all about the automation, so I'm always automating the macros to get a better sound. So without processing the sound, just like that. Just a acid sound, very basic sound. So this processing is, again, I just drag drop all the sounds, all the mixer tracks from the Acid Sabotage. It was like that. My processing was like that. Just a low cut, some head crusher to get a little bit distortion. Maybe I can activate them one by one so you can see how the sound is transforming. Actually, this is kind of overkill. Maybe I'm making too much processing in there, but in the end it worked, so I don't have any problems with it. This head crusher is free plugin. Irfan Baldan, my DJ producer friend, recommended that plugin to me, and I love it. It's adding a very nice analog taste. So more EQ and more distortion. This is so subtle, like 5% or 10% of drive-at only. Pop filter saturation to color a little bit, also like saturate. And as you see, I'm saturating the mid frequencies in the low region and side frequencies in the upper region, so it gets a little bit more whiteness. Some EQ, some more EQ. And then let's jump here. This was muted. So this is for automation. This is for filter. This is for, I think this is not for reverb. As you see, the reverb is on 0. This adding some chorus, some distortion, and some bit crash to the sound. It gets very silent because I wanted some headroom. That's why I put the fruity balance in the beginning. This is the main, no, this is still not the main reverb. This is a reverb I'm automating in the build-up. And in the smile also for automation. So let's jump here. We got more plugins, more processing, more EQ. And then virtual mix track to shape the sound a little bit more with thickness and shimmer module in here. So Pultec EQ for adding a little bit body. Dimension expander to make it wide. This is main delay and reverb. So this is the reverb I'm using inside of the patch. Some more EQ, I thought it wasn't, in your face enough, so I boost the mids. OTT, and it never ends. Let's keep checking the processing. Some more EQ. Still coloring, still trying to fit this sound inside of the mix. And yeah, in the end, I wasn't satisfied. You will see more processing in the next mixing project. So some more OTT to even squeeze the dynamics. and isotope trash to give a little bit more, presence. In clip control mode, I'm using it like 20% wet only. More EQ, and finally some clipping. So in this project, in the next project, I rendered every stem without sidechain and limiting. So this was all for in this project. And finally, it started to sound like how I imagined in the track. So this was for the first drop. In the break, in the end of the first drop, I'm teasing the break arp, which is like that. And as you see, I made a slow down in here. I made it, honestly, I don't remember, but I think I just choose them like that. And in here, you can just make it slower. So I get this effect like that. It's making the transition much more smoother. In the break, I'm starting with ambiances, like the choir pads, like a tension string, and tons of background sounds. But the most important thing, obviously, the break lead. So actually, teasing the break lead in here, and in the original version, in my version, we had a break, climax part, kind of with kick and some drums. It was like 8 bar long. But in the end, Justin Prime just said to me, let's keep it short, let's give full energy all the time. And we decided to get rid of that climax part, which sounds like that. Yeah, as you see, I have a section like that, but in the end, we just get rid of this 8 bar, I think, or 16 bar, whatever it is, and directly jumping to the build up. So as you see in the build-up, I'm just fading out the break lead with filter, with reverb, I'm washing it out, and I'm slowly fading in the second drop lead. That's the snare roll I have. With all the risers and stuff, the build-up sounds very full. So in the second drop, actually everything is same, but the drop lead is different. This time I don't have 303, but instead I'm bringing synth for the main drop idea. So it was, actually sounds like that. I made this sound from Nexus. I don't have Nexus, my friend does. So I just asked my friend to render this sound for me. That's why I have just a stem like that. So it's very basic, low octave and high octave with the same melody. So the way I process it was like that. Some EQ, some DST to give saturation. This is for filter. This is for, just filling the gaps. And as you see, the reverb I'm putting is in a little bit mono because the sound was so wide. So that's why I want to have a narrow reverb to have some contrast. This is for delay reverb. And in the next channel, I have EQ, some pull tech to give more body. This magic patch, I already had a tutorial about it. This is just like an Oxford inflator, just a wave shaping and making it a little bit dirtier. OTT to glue the sound, isotope trash, more saturation. Transformer, making it sounds more analog. Some EQ, clipping, and sidechain. And yeah, just one lead, one Nexus Future Rave lead, and I think that's all because it's matching the energy, the melody is nice, the background stuff is nice, the processing is very in your face. Then the second drop sounds so much energyful. So other than that, to extend the vibe, I have a drop over in here, it's a low sound. And I'm combining it with this high sound hover. You see, it's like hiding in the background, but adding so much to the energy level of the drop. And I think the other thing I should mention is, as you know, the first drop is like full acid, but in the second drop I don't have any acid. So I thought if I don't have any acid, that would be awkward. So I put this acid shot in here. Yeah, with this, I'm still maintaining the acid vibe even in the second drop. That was the production project. Let's jump to the mixing project. So this is the mixing project, guys. Let me check something. Okay, it's working. So in the mixing project, I have only the main stems of the track. So for example, I'm using the kick bass group. But in here, I even add more click to the sound. This is for filtering. And in this project, I did something like that. I used these Bristol channels for my digital summing. These plugins are just simulating some analog console. And I'm having those plugins on every channel of mine. Every channel that has sound inside of it. And then I'm passing through all of the stems from this plugin. So it's just adding some analog taste to my master. So as I said, I processed the 303 in this project even more. Let me show it to you. Because this is the mixing project, you can just work on the little details. So just tweak some stuff, tweak the EQ settings to make it fit to the track. So in this case, I again even tweak some EQ, some revival module, worked on the stereo imaging, just boost the side signal. This is the fill reverb for the gaps. This is my sidechain. And also I use secondary sidechain with Fab Filter Proceed. So with this, this is listening the kicks click. And this is so fast, so subtle, just helping the kicks click cut through a little bit better. I'm gonna show it to you. So as you see, it's so fast. I'm using this ghost kick to trigger this compressor. And other than that, I have some EQ, some volume tweaks, and some clipping. That's all for the acid sound. And yeah, as you see, this stem project gives me tons of flexibility when it comes to finalizing the track. I didn't have much things in this project. As you see, just several stems and just small EQ tweaks. For example, this is the break lead. I decided to add a violet EQ, just 1 dB high frequency boost, just some small tweaks like that. And for the second drop lead, I think I have just a little bit touch in here, boosting the 12K and boosting the side signal a little bit. And that's it. Again, this Bristol and Endless Smile for automation purposes. After I'm wrapped this project, make all the final little details with little balances in the track, then it's time to master. So in the master, in the Bristol, I'm just lowering the volume. This is for gain staging. And this is for the main module for the Bristol bass plugin. So in here, if I like, I can control all of the channels, the kick, the drums, the leads, the vocals separately. It's like a little mixer inside of it, but I'm not using it. I'm just using this plugin to pass through the signal for getting the analog taste, analog touch. Again, Endless Smile for just automation purposes. And this is very, very straightforward and easy master. So for the master, I usually use Ozgun Maximizer, even though still I'm using it. But even before that, I was boosting my tracks with T-Rex clippers. So I was just going forward and back which one to use. And in the end, I decided to use the clipper as my main maximizer. So first in here, I'm just giving a little bit boost on the side signals so I can get more white mix down. And then in the excitement mode, I have these last two bands. In the retro mode, I'm just exciting the signals so the top end makes a little bit more crispy with this, and it sounds so good in my opinion. And then with the clipper, I'm just boosting it in the hard clip mode as much as I can until it distorts, and I'm stopping there. This is a little bit dangerous if you don't know what to do, but if you can do that, you can get very loud and very saturated mixes. And the limiter next to it literally does nothing. It's just have a minus 0.1 ceiling just in case if I clip. And this is for metering. Yeah, guys, as you see, one of the easiest masters I have ever made. Just a compression, some excitement, then just clipping the signal until it distorts. And yeah, basically this is how I made my Game Over remix from Justin Prime, Blackcode and David Allen. I hope this tutorial teach you something and you can apply this to your own productions as well, guys. Today that was it. See you on the next video. Bye bye.